Good morning and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. I hope everyone is doing well on this Wednesday morning. We're back with another massive show to bring you guys this morning. But before we jump into that, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's get straight on into it. On the show this morning, we're going to be talking about a reported mega offer from Saudi Arabia for Casemiro. We'll be breaking down all of the details around that and also just having a bit of a discussion about whether we think that selling Casemiro is the correct thing to do in the January transfer window. We'll also be reacting to an interview that Fabrizio Romano did last night where he's talking about ultimately what Manchester United will be doing in the January window. He talks a bit about Anthony Martial, a couple of other things as well. But as always, I want you guys to get involved in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on all things Manchester United. Let me know how you're feeling at the moment. What are you expecting against West Ham? Do you think we're going to beat them? And what would you like to see happen in the January window? Let me know what your thoughts are. Let's just start off with one thing, though, and this has now been confirmed. Donny van de Beek has now completed his medical to become an Eintracht Frankfurt player. It is a loan move with an option to buy in the summer. I think it is around 10 million euros that we would get for him. I think they're covering most of his wages until the summer. Obviously, I wish Donny van de Beek all the best. He was a player that I had such high expectations for when he joined Manchester United. You know, Barcelona were interested in him. I think Man City were interested in him. There was multiple clubs who were interested in signing Donny van de Beek. He clearly is a good player, but I don't know. I don't know what went wrong with him. Maybe he just wasn't cut out for the Premier League. Maybe he deserved to have more opportunities. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think losing Donny van de Beek is a big loss, or do you think this is the right decision from Manchester United? Let me know what you think in the comment section. But as always, I wish Donny van de Beek all the best. I think he wanted to be part of the team. I don't think he disrespected the club at any point. I think he had some really bad injuries that probably didn't help him. But I liked him. I thought he was, a likable person, if that makes sense. He just, for whatever reason, it didn't work. So I wish Donny all the best. I'm just trying to confirm here what the deal is. Okay, so the deal is this. It's a loan deal until the summer. There's a buy option clause, which is not mandatory, and it will cost Frankfurt 11 million euros fixed fee plus 4 million euros in add-ons. So if they decide to trigger it in the summer, we will get about £10 million, yeah. So it's not great, is it? But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, right, that I don't really understand with that is, what happens if Donny van de Beek goes and has an incredible 6 months with Frankfurt, and then we sell him for 9 million? That's the bit that doesn't really add up for me. Being completely honest, though, he most likely will go there and struggle, because obviously we tried to do this already. We loaned him to Everton. It didn't really work there. Obviously I want him to do well, but I don't know. I just think that he's a bit of a doomed player, it seems, at the moment. But yeah, let's hope that he does do well. We paid 39 million euros for him, so we'll be losing about 28 million euros if we sell him to Frankfurt. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Welcome everybody. I hope everyone is doing good. Al says, United never make any good transfers. Every player's value declines. This club is kind of a joke under the Glazers. I would agree with that. Joel says, he's just not good enough and it didn't work out. Should have been sold years ago. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Chris says, I don't feel I ever saw enough of Donny in a red shirt to form an opinion. I wish him well. Yeah, I hear you, mate. It's frustrating, isn't it? Because I know before he joined, everyone was really, really excited about him. There's literally stories out there that he was on Barcelona's radar, he was on Man City's radar, and it felt like a real coup when we got him, didn't it? For what felt like a reasonable amount of money. And we know, and I remember when he left Ajax, all of the Ajax fans were devastated. They were so devastated. So yeah, it's frustrating, but it is what it is. Let's see what else people. Tyreek says we should bring Greenwood back. We'll talk about Greenwood in a minute. Obviously, I know Greenwood's been absolutely smashing it over in La Liga. So yeah, we will talk about him in a minute. Right, let's talk a little bit about this Casemiro offer. So this is coming out from a Spanish journalist. He's got over 200,000 followers on Twitter. Very, very reliable Spanish journalist. And he is reporting this morning that Casemiro has received a massive offer from Saudi Arabia for the January transfer window. We know that John Murta was out in Saudi a couple of weeks ago discussing possible players to go over there. We believe those players to be Casemiro, Jadon Sancho, Anthony Martial, and Rafael Varane. I don't think Varane will leave now. Obviously, Maguire's injured. Martinez is injured. If Varane was to leave, your only fit centre-backs would be Johnny Evans and Lindelof. And I don't even know if Lindelof's fit. He seems to have been unavailable the last couple of weeks. So I think selling a centre-back now would probably be a bit of a dumb idea. If you had Maguire, Martinez, Luke Shaw, Lindelof, if all of those people were fit and you got a big offer in from Saudi for Varane, maybe you take it. But I think at this moment in time, we keep getting injuries, and I think if Varane is able to stay fit, keep him till the end of the season. Give him the 1 year extension thing that's part of his contract, because his contract does expire in the summer. That's the one thing we have to remember. Varane's contract expires this summer, which is crazy. We only signed him, I think, 3 years ago, but we have the option to extend it by one year. So if I'm Manchester United, I give him the 1 year extension, keep him until the summer, and then sell him in the summer. That's what I would do personally. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Joel says, I wonder why Ajax didn't come back in for Donny van de Beek. I don't know, really, to be honest with you, mate. I think the issue probably was his wages. Let's have a quick look. Because are Ajax still in the Champions League, or do they get knocked out? Let's have a look. So Ajax's highest earning player at the moment is Steven Bergwijn, and he's on €88,000 a week, whereas Donny van de Beek is on £120,000 per week, which is about €150,000. So yeah, he's earning about double what Ajax's highest earning player is earning at the moment. So that's probably why. It's just one of those ones, isn't it? Joel says Lindelof is another player who must be sold in order for us to progress. Yeah, I would agree with that, to be honest. Michael says we will probably let Casemiro, Van de Beek and Martial go and sign nobody. We will take Greenwood back in the summer because he is free and we are skint. Not rocket science, we are losing the big wages. Yeah, the thing is that we have to remember, right? Obviously, we're out of the Champions League. We're not in the Europa League. And that's money lost. And Manchester United have always had to buy to sell in recent years because the Glazers don't put any of their own money into the club. And I think the most likely thing to happen now is that our highest earning players will probably go. Sancho will go. Martial will go. Both of them, I would agree, need to go. Casemiro will probably go. Varane will probably go. And the reason that they'll go is not because they're not good footballers. Okay, obviously Martial and Sancho, I think we can just forget about those two. Those two would definitely need to go. But Casemiro and Varane are clearly good footballers. But you can't be paying £350,000 a week to Casemiro and Varane to not even be in any European competitions. That is ridiculous amounts of money. Absolutely crazy. I mean, let's look at say like Ruben Dias at Man City, okay? Playing for a team who just won the treble. Ruben Dias is on 180,000 a week. Let that sink in for a minute. Akanji's on 180,000 a week. Ake's on 160,000 a week. You get where I'm going with this. So Man City's defence are on about 200,000 a week, let's say, on average. Whereas we're paying Rafael Varane 350,000 a week. We've won one trophy in the last 6 years, which was the League Cup. You've got Man City, who have an unlimited amount of money, just won the treble, and they're paying their, world-class starting centre-backs nearly half of what we're paying Rafael Varane. It doesn't add up. And I think that would be one of the first things that Jim Ratcliffe looks at when he comes in, that, where has it gone wrong over these years that we've ultimately paid out these ridiculous contracts? We've rewarded players for ultimately failure because we haven't been successful, have we? If Man City gave Ruben Dias 350 grand a week, you'd say that's a lot of money, but I guess it's deserved. They've just won the treble, whereas we're, rewarding players for nothing really. What else have we got? Joel says, I honestly think that one game per week will have a massive impact first time in ages. I agree with you, mate. I do. I think it really, really will. Darren says these damn high wages at Manchester United. Gaz says Ten Hag out. I haven't seen Ten Hag out for a while, but fair enough. That's your opinion. Daniel says, I predict Martial will go on a free in the summer. Classic United. Yeah, the thing with Martial, Daniel, is that obviously his contract expires in June. So if Manchester United are to get any money whatsoever for Anthony Martial, they need to sell him now. They need to sell him in the January transfer window. Will that happen or not? I'm not too sure. Scott says we should put Anthony on the left, Sancho on the right, make them cross in the box for Højlund, make them play for the money they get. Yeah, maybe, mate. I think Sancho's as good as gone. To be honest with you, I do. Um, yeah, I think he's gone. Right, I'll come back to the chat in a minute. Let's talk a little bit about Anthony Martial then. So Fabrizio Romano was, I think it was on YouTube. He was doing some sort of video last night, and he was talking about the January window. And he says Manchester United are actively working on new signings for January. He says the club are talking to numerous agents for a striker due to the potential departure of Anthony Martial. So, I mean, if we could get rid of Martial and bring in a new striker, I would be very, very happy about that. I would, because as somebody said in the chat, if we don't get rid of him now, he will go as a free agent in June, and we will still pay him 250 grand a week until that point, which is ridiculous. You know, you could bring in someone like Guirassy. I think he's £15 million is his release clause. Let's have a look at what his wages are. I mean, his wages are probably half of that, if not even half, probably way less. Let's have a look. So Guirassy at Stuttgart is earning €40,000 a week. I mean, what's that in pounds? So Guirassy's earning £35,000 a week in the Bundesliga, scoring, I think, 18 goals. Anthony Martial's earning £250,000 a week. So if you got rid of Martial now, how many weeks is it until June? I mean, 6 months for 6 times 4 times 250,000. Is that right? Like, is that 6 million in wages that he'll get paid? Just trying to work it out. So 250 times 4. Yeah. So if we were to get rid of Martial now, we'd save about 6 million in wages between now and the end of the season. So if you were to get, say, I don't know, say you got 5 million from somebody for him, yeah, that would be 11 million back in the bank. Go and get Guirassy for 15 million. Like, you're ultimately then getting the player for only 4 million, if that makes sense. So I think it's a no-brainer if they can get that deal done. Whether Manchester United will be able to do it, I'm not too sure. Joel says, I can't believe that Leon Bailey was only 24 million and we paid 3 times that for Anthony. Yeah, I mean, it's terrible, isn't it? It really, really is. Darren says, Martial and Sancho is about 500 grand a week combined. They don't play or hardly play. United need more of the wage budget on the field. I agree. Daniel says, did you see that Martial, did you see that Murta said no new signings in the January window? I was face palming all morning seeing that. Yeah, I think from what I've seen, it's that we will need to sell to buy. That's the way it's going to work in January, as it always does. And I think that we will sell, you know. Donny van der Beek will go. Probably a couple of others will go as well. I imagine Reguilon's apparently going to go to Dortmund. I know that's not a player that we own, but we're still paying him wages. So I think we are going to be operating in the loan market or in the very, very cheap market. So people like Guirassy, maybe we do buy a player where we pay some now, some in the summer. Like, it'll be those types of deals. We'll be scraping the barrel like we did in the summer window. Everyone who's just joined, please do smash a like on the video if you haven't already, and please do subscribe. We've got over 250 people watching. Everybody, please smash a like. It will really help to bring more people into the channel. Darren says, I didn't realise Martial's wages were so high. We should let him go for free to get those wages off the books. Yeah, mate, it's ridiculous. I know, £250,000 a week. Like, I genuinely don't remember the last time he had a good game. Probably, 2-3 years ago? Casemiro's on 350, Varane's on 300, Martial's on 250. I mean, even Mason Mount, right? We've given Mason Mount a 250 grand a week contract. Like, who thought that was a good idea? Absolutely ridiculous. And these are all things that need to change when these new owners come in. Not new owners, these new investors, whatever you want to call them. Like, that's what needs to happen, because we can't be continuing to pay out these stupid contracts for people who are, let's be honest, nowhere near the level that, deem that type of money. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Right, let's circle back to the ownership situation quickly. Yeah, just to final the section on Martial. Anybody who missed the show last night, apparently Fenerbahce are in talks to sign Anthony Martial, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. I don't really see how Fenerbahce would have the money to pay Martial, but I guess arguably, if he's only got 6 months left of his contract, right, and somebody offers him, say, a 4-year contract at 100 grand a week, that's worth more technically. Does that make sense? So, like, 4 years of 100 grand a week is better than 6 months at 250 grand a week. So yeah, hopefully we can get rid of him. That's what I'm kind of getting at here. Because usually it's like, we've got 3 years left on the deal. They're on ridiculous wages and they won't leave. That's usually what happens with United. This is the time to get rid of him. Pablo says, Van der Beek is a ball player. These players never do well. We should have played him with Mata and more recently Højlund. Most of our squad cannot understand his movements. He's a pass and move player. Yeah. I agree, mate. I agree. Fred says, nobody's going to pay Martial's wages, so he's staying for another 6 million madness. Yeah. The thing is, right, if you're Anthony Martial, you could just say, well, I will stay. I'll keep earning the money. And in the summer, I will get even more money because I'll be a free agent. It's sickening, really, isn't it? It is. And the same thing happens over and over and over again. We don't sell these players at the point of being able to sell them. We give them new contracts and then they just sit and rob us ultimately, and they take us for granted. And it's frustrating, it is, but there's not really too much we can do about that, is there? Right, I think that's everything we've got planned for this morning's show. I will be back live, obviously, this evening at about 6:30. So do make sure you come and join me for that. I hope everyone has a lovely day. Please do me a big favour and like the video before you go. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I've just dropped a link in the chat to do that. This has been Daily Red Devil. Have a good day, everybody, and I'll speak to you all about 6:30 p.m. this evening.